Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Friends, great news. Today we get to dive into that tense, terrifying, yet always terrific world of Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. And a big one today, friends, as we begin Season 2 with Episode 1, King 9 Will Not Return. I have absolutely adored this series. I cannot wait to see where it goes. So wait no longer, we shall. If you could do me a quick favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for a little Twilight Zone or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like earlier in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and what is now? Now's time for the Season 2 premiere of Twilight Zone, Episode 1, King 9 Will Not Return. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And for the first time this season, away we go! There we go. There we go.
A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
I don't know, there's a kind of an uplifting element to Rod's voice there that I kind of wish he'd have stayed kind of sinister.
Her name is King 9, B-25 medium bomber, 12th Air Force. On a hot, still morning, she took off from Tunisia to bomb the southern tip of Italy. An errant piece of flak tore a hole in a wing tank, and like a wounded bird, this is where she landed.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Are we meant to assume he was thrown clear? Dear God, dude. How are you alive? Well, this is the Twilight Zone. He might already be dead. That's a hell of a set piece. That's a hell of a set piece. He's not in a flight suit? I'm not even sure that's a uniform.
Wing tank hit. Lost fuel all the way over. Fell behind, went off course, and bellied in. What about the crew? Hey, did they bail out?
All of them?
No, I didn't. We all wrote it in, all of us. Me, I'm James Embry, captain. Yeah, that's who I am. Blake, co-pilot, Kransky, radio operator and waist gunner. Jimenez, navigator. Connors, he was a tail gunner. Klein, he was the upper turret gunner. Now, let's see. Who else?
Is he having problems recalling his crew? Or are we supposed to see this as like, sort of like the shock or maybe a head trauma or something? It's a Twilight Zone, right? It could be absolutely anything. It's the uniforms throwing me. The uniform's really throwing me. Because I'm not even sure he has the right footwear on.
Blake?
Well, the glass in front of him's not broken, though.
Blake?
Great shot. My best friend's buddy used to take my buddy and I to all these air shows. I got to climb through one of these. It was amazing.
Klein?
No bodies. Check the chutes. Check to see if you have chutes on board.
Hey! Hey!
But isn't it true if you're in full combat, you should have a chute on you?
We belted in, and I must have been thrown clear of the plane. Yeah.
How, dude? The front glass was still there.
Hey, I may have been out for hours. And then the others were...
They never would have left you, even if they thought you were dead.
They didn't jump. The chutes are still here. They couldn't be dead. And if they left the plane and started walking, why didn't they take me?
Right.
Klein! Kransky!
Dude, they can hear you. I mean, my God, they could probably hear you from a mile. This reminds me of Where Is Everybody? Our first episode of the first season.
King 9 calling Firefly. Mayday, Mayday. King 9 calling Firefly. Mayday, Mayday. King 9 calling Firefly. Come in, please. King 9 calling Firefly. Mayday, Mayday. Come in, please.
No chatter whatsoever. No cigarettes.
Oh, easy now, easy now. Think about it some.
No cigarettes. Easy now, easy.
Crew is someplace, and for some reason, and I'm alone. For some reason, there's logic behind it. There's logic for everything.
It's hard pack. You're not going to be able to see tracks, I don't think.
I'm in charge. As far as it's within my power, I got to keep them alive.
All right, Jim. Well, let's find them.
Blake?
That's just something banging against the side.
Blake?
Yeah. We saw something moving.
Blake?
Yeah, the flap. Okay, let's assess everything around here. Get a little bit more information. I don't know, the uniform's still throwing me. He just doesn't look like he's in like a flight suit or anything. His canteen's here.
Klein! Sergeant Klein! You're in the desert now, you idiot! You're gonna need water! Some crew I got here run around the...
He's playing this interesting. I like it.
Blake! Blake! Blake?
You wasted a lot of water there, buddy. Awesome shot.
Blake? Blake, where'd you go?
What do you do in a situation like this? Radio doesn't work. You're in the middle of nowhere. No one's around. You can't go searching.
I'm responsible for you guys. Don't you understand? I'm responsible.
Or did something already happen? Did he lose everybody and this is some type of like hyper-realistic trauma? Oh, we're already at the break. Oh my God. All right, Jim, let's see what we can figure out here, bud. You keep saying you're responsible.
Pancake in desert, 1 hour and 30 minutes from last checkpoint. Bearing 29.
Does he not remember the heading or is he just like, see, he's kind of weak on a couple details here.
I could be lying out there in the sand with a fractured skull.
Yeah?
Might not even be standing here. Might be dying out there in the desert.
He sort of sounds like Jimmy Stewart.
Making up in my mind.
Mind.
Or maybe I'm sleeping and I'm having a dream.
Something's happened. This is a recollection or
maybe I tied one on and I'm in a booth in a bar someplace with a pretty girl.
Or you're in purgatory. We've had that.
Wait till the medics get a hold of me. They'll never let loose. They'll put me on tour if they ever let me out of the bin, that is.
I want to know what's really going on so I can better appreciate the performance that's being put forward here. There's some type of motivation that we don't know about in this performance.
Connors, Klein? How about it, crew? You hear me, anybody? Hey!
Let's look around. We found the canteen. I mean, I don't recommend we leave the craft. There's way more going on, I know, but they won't be able to find you. He's in the twilight zone. I'm thinking of keeping this guy alive, and he might already be dead.
I'm responsible for you jerks. You give me some bum action here. You're throwing curves, gentlemen.
Keep saying he's responsible for him.
Look, I'm supposed to look after you guys.
It's like he failed doing that, and this is his like brain's way of coping with it. Oh, wow. It's not all of them, is it? Or is it just one? It's just one, yeah.
Rest in peace, buddy. Rest in peace, kid.
That's something. That's something.
Hey, what kind of aircraft are those?
Ruh-roh.
I've never seen any planes like that before. I've never seen any jets. Jets.
How do you know that word?
How do I know about jet aircraft? This is 1943. There's no such thing as jet aircraft. But I know about them. I know about jet aircraft. F-106s, F-105, B-58s. I know all about them.
Yeah.
Hey, where you guys going? Hey, what's going on here?
He lost his crew, and this is some type of like psychosis remembrance.
Crew? Hey, crew. Now, come on. We gotta get out of here. We've gotta get out. We can't walk out. That's for sure. That's for positive. We're gonna have to fly. Fly.
Oh, wow.
Gonna have to prop up the ship, get the wheels down. Try to take her off, get her in the air.
Dude, what?
I'll get her back. You can trust me. I'll get her back.
He must have failed. He must have lost them. Yeah, he must have lost everybody.
Because you're an illusion. You don't even exist.
Wow. You see that pull up from that mania?
I'm unconscious.
Wow.
Or I'm cracked up in some army base.
Let's put the entire episode on this guy's shoulders. A season premiere.
Or I don't exist any more than you do. Crow!
Maybe Ghost?
I got an idea. Hey, you can yell at me. Yell at me.
Tell me I got you killed. There they are. You see something?
Clyde! Damn it.
Yep.
I knew you'd come back.
What is going on?
Phantom. Everything's a phantom.
Or you're the Phantom.
Oh, God. Oh, God, what's happening here? What's happening? Won't you let me in on it?
That's so terrible.
Let me in on it. Oh, God.
Wow.
Please. Please.
Oh, wow.
Is this what set it off, this front page?
That's why I thought we ought to have a psychiatrist in on it.
Oh, my God. Okay, so what happened?
And this was his plane.
His plane and his crew. Took off for Italy on what was supposed to be a routine flight. But Embry never went on that last mission. Boarded in ill and someone else flew the plane for him.
Really?
I went back to the desert.
That's all right, Mr.
No. It's all right, Mr. Embry.
Yeah, you were never there.
You went back to the desert, then what?
None of them were there.
It was an illusion, Mr. Embry, but you're out of it now. You're going to be all right.
I should have been on the plane.
Yeah, it's guilt. Survivor's guilt.
Should have gone on that mission. I chickened out.
You didn't chicken out.
How'd you chicken out?
It's out in the open now. You don't have to hide it in a pit deep inside of you.
I know that actor. Not this young, though.
In the sky. Jets. Jets.
Okay.
Jet planes overhead. Just as if I had gone back there today.
The grave. Ask about the grave.
In your mind. That's how you went back. Only in your mind.
Ask about the grave. If the grave is there, he wouldn't have any idea.
Go back to sleep now, Mr. Embry. You're going to be all right.
Is he?
These are Mr. Embry's clothes. He left them in the examination room.
Put them on the desk here, nurse. I'm going back in the room. I'll take them in.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him in a day or so.
There'll be
Fine,
sand
I'll
in them.
check on it.
Oh.
It's sand.
Wow.
How does it happen? The
That's
question
right.
is on file in the silent desert. And the answer's waiting for us in the Twilight Zone.
Nice job, Rod. All right, everybody, we just finished watching The Twilight Zone Season 2 premiere, Episode 1, King 9 Will Not Return. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished King 9 Will Not Return, the first episode of the second season of The Twilight Zone. Okay, so in the grand comparative of the Twilight Zone anthology, of which I have seen only Season 1 and now the first episode of Season 2, I think that this episode needed something more, and I don't know what that was. And again, everybody, I enjoyed the episode, and what the hell do I know about the construction of an episode? But you all tell me what you think. Okay, let me put it to you like this. In our very, very similar type of setup in our very first episode of The Twilight Zone, I mentioned during the reaction, Where Is Everybody? With that driver, and I think what it was with that one, with Where Is Everybody, that gave it that extra little thing that it needed, that extra little kind of engagement, item of note, detail, whatever you want to call it. I think it was changing the locale where he would go throughout the town and he was in the theater and he was all over the place, in the phone booth, couldn't get out of the phone booth. This one was very isolated, obviously. We're in the middle of the Tunisian desert. I think that's where they said it was, on the way to Italy. And we had Embry going around, basically carrying this entire episode, whether it be the focus of the camera, the focus of his vocalization, if we had a pullback shot, him yelling the entire time. There was a lot of repetition in there. And again, I understand why. He's trying to find his people. He's trying to, he keeps repeating the, you are my responsibility, you are my responsibility. And I think that not that they overdid that by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that what it did was it drilled down our focus to the point where it was revealed a little bit earlier. At least in my mind, there was a hint of what was going on before maybe there needed to be, if you would have had a couple other distractors in there. And again, the one thing about Twilight Zone 2 is, despite, again, having a casino, I always think of the Fever, filled with patrons, they are always in an economy when it comes to the story because they have a very short time to tell it. And so inside that economy, we have this kind of Embry carrying everything, repeating these phrases over and over again. But in this one, I think they were a little too Spartan in kind of like their plot points that they had for the episode. We needed a couple other things, whether it be, another vision of another one of the crew members, maybe even an interaction with one of the crew members, a condemnation. Why did you let us die? What do I know? I don't know anything. I'm certainly not second guessing the Twilight Zone. Again, the only thing I ever like to do is I don't compare the Twilight Zone to something else. I compare it to itself. And so a really great kind of episode that lends itself to that comparison is the first episode of the first season. So they bookend very nicely with that type of experience. And I think that the first one was, it better kind of proved this type of isolation, whether it be through, like, again, the changing of the locale, almost like the degradation of our central protagonist in Where Is Everybody? In this one, our Embry sort of started off manic. You know what I mean? We had this, and there were a lot of anomalies. The uniform wasn't correct. Obviously, he wasn't wearing one. He found the hat, which I think is interesting because I wonder if, he was actually transported there and found the hat of whoever was flying the plane and plopped it on his head. I wonder if that's in his effects. I didn't notice. I should go back and look at that. But I think he took it back off again, didn't he, before the end of the episode, the end of the dream sequence or whatever it was. Interesting stuff in that I really enjoyed the performance in and of itself, and the reason why I mentioned during the reaction that I wanted to know the motivations that were probably provided to the actor to play Embry, and I think the motivations, the reason why he was more manic than initially, he was very giggling one moment, kind of crying out in despair the next, giggling another time, laughing with the imaginary people. I'm hallucinating. No, I'm not hallucinating. Back and forth with his mental state, basically. Self-observed mental state too, which is interesting. The other thing that was interesting about this episode that I'm not really sure how to interpret is the narration. We had narration in there that I understand was to give us the mindset of the protagonist. But, to my recollection, we did not have any type of narration in Where Is Everybody? So there's a distinct difference there. And I'm not sure what the narration was supposed to be other than to provide us with information that was not readily available to us just by appearance, giving us what the mission was, going to from Tunisia to the southern tip of Italy type of stuff. 1943, giving us all those breakdowns and things. So the narration, but that's interesting. It's almost Inception type of stuff at that point. Whatever way he appeared at the plane, whether it was a dreamscape, a remembrance, an illusion, physically, whatever it was, it's almost he was present there in what would be an altered state. Let's just call it that. He was present at the plane in an altered state. And in addition to that altered state, which would have probably in all likelihood been in his mind somehow, that was also contributing to a narration. So it was like a dream within a dream, you know what I mean? And there was some level of self-awareness in the narration too. And by self-awareness, I mean that he was aware that it was 1960. He was not under the illusion it was still 1943. Because how would I know his jet planes weren't even out yet? You know, I mean, that's crazy talk. You know, and then he would giggle and we would kind of just, okay, nod and accept it. So he was definitely from a specific, you know, he was aware that he was sort of outside of time or not in the right place. And again, that's an interesting level to apply to an already pre-existing hallucinatory or altered state. I think, you know, again, if we want to double down on that one. It was an interesting thing. I think it worked to a degree. I don't know. With this one, I think that we have had so many incredibly potent reveals that were carried forward. Again, and this is no disrespect to the actor who played Embry whatsoever. He was given he had to put the entire episode on his shoulders, and he was given one area in which to work. You know, he had no one to interact off of. The plane was his only set piece, a good one, but his only set piece. And then he had a conversation with the doctors at the end, and I think that the doctors, again, with both of those people that I'm assuming they were both medical practitioners, there could have been some more revelation in there or something of that nature. I mean, they were the ones that told us that he didn't actually take the trip, which, you know, so many specifics came in. I don't know. Again, I don't want to poo-poo this by any stretch of the imagination because I thought it was a solid story. Just, I guess maybe the best way to say it is in the grand pantheon, the constellations of what is Rod Serling's universe of the Twilight Zone, this one needed, in my mind, just a little something more. But I mean, even an episode of The Twilight Zone that needed something more is just like pizza. It's good enough, right? Twilight Zone is always good. Plus, we got Rod and apparently a genie coming up next episode. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time to join Rod Serling in The Twilight Zone or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from this episode of The Twilight Zone. So again, normally whenever we watch a series, we watch the episode, and then we, as the Greek chorus, we go back and find a favored scene from that episode to say goodbye from, because we're a vitally important part of the narrative, friends. We are the ones that keep the story alive and tell people that haven't seen it, hey, you should check it out. So we help the storytellers, and that's our reward, usually. But in The Twilight Zone, we say goodbye as a result of the episode. And so, my friends, I am going to say that we're working around, we're medical practitioners ourselves. We're going around, we're interns, we're nurses, whatever we happen to be, but we're getting Mr. Embry's clothes together. And my question to all of you is, as we're sitting there working and he's sleeping quietly and we're being quiet, you know, there's sand everywhere, but I'll ask you this question, my friend. Do you find a hat? Until such time as we can journey into the next episode of The Twilight Zone, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.